As the baby inside of her grows more and more every day, Sawatu Salama Ra frets about where she's going to be when her water breaks. She's 7 months pregnant. She's 26 years old, and she's serving a 2-year prison sentence for felonious assault and felony firearm conviction at Huron Valley Correctional Facility. Now, this is the only correctional facility in Michigan that houses women, and it's full of all kinds of problems and overcrowding, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, the courts have largely ignored the time sensitivity, gravity of Ra's situation. A judge has already denied a request to postpone her sentence until she gives birth. Her lawyers contend that she has faced mistreatment during doctor's visits. Guards shackle her to the bedpost, a practice that is illegal in Michigan. But the case itself is so full of blind spots and complexities that it's difficult to tell who's who. The specifics still remain hazy. The facts are spare. Here's what we know. Ra brandished a gun at a neighbor, and this is a neighbor that they had an ongoing feud. Now, she brandished the gun after the neighbor took her car and rammed her car into Ra's car with her young child in the car. She got out and said, "What are you doing?" She rammed it in Ra's driveway. She said, "My daughter is in there." She feared for her life and the life of her daughter. So she reaches into her purse. She has a concealed handgun carry license. The gun was not loaded, but it was legally purchased. Now, Michigan is a stand your ground state, which means if somebody is on your property and they are threatening you, you have a right to pull the gun and stand your ground. You don't have to run. If you have a gun, you can defend yourself. The problem is that afterwards, her neighbor filed a report. Ra was second online. So in other words, if you do something, I guess in Michigan, and you're the first to call the police and say, "Hey, this is going on," it doesn't matter what really happened. The law looks at you as the victim. Whoever called first. Does that sound crazy? Now, much of the mainstream media has attacked mainstream pro-gun groups, including the National Rifle Association, for being, in their words, dispiritingly quiet about the incident. Though the Stand Your Ground law in place in Michigan passed in 2006, and it was made possible by a group working in close contact with the NRA. So it's kind of like blaming the fire department for putting out a fire. Is that right? Part of what's made this case so difficult to dissect is that Ra herself by no means fits in any hard and fast category. Who is she? Who's her group protecting her? Because she's black. She's Muslim. She's an environmental activist. She's a mother keeping her baby. She's a gun owner, even though the gun wasn't even loaded.